Oh, Wayne's World. Right. Wayne's World, excellent.
Looking for the channel at the start.
Party time. I haven't seen that in years. Like, actually.
It's my favourite film of all time.
Is it?
I've never seen it.
What, the first one? Wayne's World? Mm-mm. Right, well, we need to watch it. We'll have a watch party.
Watch party?
Shouldn't we do it? And
we
be
should.
like, yeah.
We could just set it there. And we'll just comment on it the whole way through.
Yeah.
You see,
Sounds perfect.
Kieran and William were doing that in like
in a cinema or something?
Yeah.
But what was the movie?
I don't even know what they were doing. But I just saw they were doing like they had
I didn't even know it was Kieran and William. I saw that it was Kieran.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the ones on YouTube do that?
I would, because I've always wanted to be on Gogglebox.
Me too.
Could we make our own Gogglebox?
We could do Belfast Box.
Yeah. could we?
Aye.
Sean, do you reckon we should?
We'll have to have snacks and cheese board.
Yeah, and just do Gogglebox. I've always wanted to be on Gogglebox because I just think whenever we're watching
Gogglebox. See, when we're watching as well, like my brother was like, "Would you ever shut up?" Because I just talk the whole way through it.
Me too, but
There's
that's
so
the
much
best
to
part
comment
about
on.
it.
I know.
You have to comment on. You could actually have a Gogglebox watch party.
I know.
Where like you're watching
comment
them.
on them watching.
Yeah, I swear to God, that's actually a really good idea. I think we will. Anyway, hello, Happy New Year,
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year, and welcome back to Word Up in 2024. I'm so delighted to be doing this again because I am usually really like busy, and then I complain that I don't get any downtime. And whenever I find myself sitting in the house, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I need to get out of here. It's driving me crazy. But it was a lovely Christmas. Did you have a nice Christmas?
I had a nice Christmas. I went home.
Right. Driving home for Christmas. I was thinking
Strabane.
about you. Because I sent you a message. Do you remember? I was like, how is it home in Strabane over Christmas?
Yes.
And you were like, I've just survived.
I just about got through it. So I usually only go home for like max 2 days.
Right.
But this was my first single Christmas. We were talking about this the last time. Calm down, everybody. And,
well, can I just say, I think you look fucking brilliant. I saw you today and went, you look amazing. You were like, thanks, just woke up like this, didn't put any makeup on. I was
just
like,
an ad for my OnlyFans. But
brilliant.
I was down, so I usually only stay for like 2 days because you know you're going out with somebody and all, and you kind of want to get back to your own place.
Yeah, you want to get back to the ride.
Nothing to get back to.
All right, Bridget Jones.
So sad. So I was just like, I might just stay there. And when I got down to my parents, I was like, do you know what? It's really warm here, and there's lots of food.
Yes.
And there's like people.
And I don't have to pay for gas or electric.
I was like, I'm not going back to my cold, lonely,
foodless house.
So I stayed for ages. It was great.
Yeah.
I watched a movie every night. Like I had my dogs with me, so I wasn't in any rush
Brilliant,
to
so
get
you
back.
weren't, yeah.
Just chilling. Occasionally my parents came in.
Yeah.
We had a drink. Yeah, it was great. It was so
I love
good.
it. So
I felt
you
like I was in an
moved back
Airbnb.
home?
No, we can go that far.
Oh,
we can go
right,
that far.
okay. Right.
But it was nice for a wee bit of respite, you know.
Was it? Oh, I love it. So next thing you know,
no
Easter.
responsibilities. Easter, I'll be back. Muller, I'll be back down.
I'll be back down.
I'll be back.
I love it.
It was good.
I'll be back.
I'll be back now.
9 out of 10. The company wasn't too bad, but everything else was brilliant.
Food was delicious.
The food was fucking
I
great.
had Chinese about 4 times.
Free food tasted
It was lovely.
nicest.
It was, oh my god, it was great.
I
so
love
I had a great time.
Yes, I'm
It was the most relaxed I've ever been at Christmas.
Really?
Was that related to being single? I would
Probably.
say so.
Yeah.
But I had a really good time.
You're not worrying about, like, did the like would have got them? Or do you have to text them back and be like, yeah, I'm missing you too?
Like there's no stress. And the only thing I would have been worried about is if my dogs were in Belfast, but they came with me. So.
Yeah, what kind of dogs do you have?
So I have my
I love it. I love the way you were like,
my favourite topic.
Waiting for you to ask.
So I have a little tiny white Maltese, which is like a Maltese Bichon cross.
You had me a tiny.
I know, he's tiny, he's really small. Now, a lot of personality.
Right.
Too much.
Is he
some would say.
mad?
He's not mad, but he hates a lot of people.
Just like us.
Yes, but
Yeah.
Mostly men.
Right.
I mean, I don't know where he got it. Fair enough. He hates men.
He's a misandrist. There's a nice
is
word.
Terrified. That's a good word. He is terrified of men. So if any men come in, he goes barking, he goes map on map. But he loves women. And
Brilliant.
I know, and he's, oh my god, he's so lovely. But the other one, I got him now 3 or 4 months ago. I was basically...
Right, so this one's new.
He's new. I was basically having a bit of a meltdown, a bit of a breakdown. And my mum and my best friend both said to me, why don't you get another dog? That'll fix things.
That'll fix
I thought
it.
that's a terrible idea.
It's like having another baby when you're together.
I know,
yeah.
keep us together. And I thought, that's a terrible idea. And then my mum was like, but you've so much love to give. And I thought, that is so sad.
Oh, bless. Stop it. It's not so sad. It's lovely.
It is
It's
sad. It's a
now you
sad
have
thing to say.
extra love to share.
That's the thing. So I was like, I'm not getting another dog. So I thought my little dog, Albie,
Yes,
after Albus
Albie.
Dumbledore.
Oh my
would be,
God.
Stop
it.
He's called Albus. I thought Albie would be jealous. And
I love
obviously,
Albie.
Albie's now from a broken home. You know, his mummies have broken up. We had him since a pup. So Albie's had a difficult time
Do
recently.
you sure, Albie?
No.
Good.
No.
No,
He's
Albie
mine.
doesn't need the confusion.
No, he doesn't. He's been through enough in his short life.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'm not getting another dog. But then I looked up every single dog that was going, that
Yes.
was available, that was homeless in Northern Ireland. And
I'm
I
not
saw-
getting another dog. I'm just looking at all
just
the dogs.
looking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I saw this big, massive, dopey looking poodle. And I thought, there's something about him is speaking to me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then I thought, put it away. 10 months later, my mum texts me, I know you're not looking for another dog, but look at this boy. Sent me the same poodle.
It was
of,
fate.
out of hundreds and hundreds of dogs.
Oh my
And I
God.
thought, what the hell?
Yeah.
So my mum was coming up to Belfast and I said, here, will we just go and see him for the crack? We'll go and see him for the crack, right? And she was like, oh, we'll go and see him for the crack. We went down to Moira, right? This place, Almost Home Rescue, amazing.
Almost home, even the name. No. Stop it.
It's also a crematorium. Whenever we were going in, someone was,
Jesus
I know,
Christ.
it's a emotional roller coaster. Someone was carrying their dog, and I was crying
Jesus.
before I got out of the car. And then they says, oh, we'll bring him out, and I says, right, and he came out. And my mother says, Jesus Christ, he's like a horse because he was huge. And she was like, if you could take 6 inches off each leg, it'd be perfect. But like my mum's a big tall woman. I was like, imagine my father saying take 6 inches off her legs.
I had her. Is your mummy a big tall woman? Right
She's
now?
tall. I'm the short one. My mum and siblings are all tall, but so they brought him out, and the poor wee thing, he was so skinny, big patches of hair missing. There was something wrong with his wee eyes. And
You went for the dog with a milky eye,
I
did
just
you?
fell in love with him.
Oh, Jesus
And do you know
Christ.
what you know what they said his name was?
What?
Dog.
Stop it.
His name was Dog.
No, they
His
didn't.
name was Dog. He'd no name.
No, they didn't. They called him dog.
Yeah.
He's that ugly they couldn't even be bothered naming
It's
him.
just Dog.
Oh,
So
that's
then,
desperate.
I know it was so sad. I ran him out and then I just couldn't. I couldn't let go of the
This
ugly
is
thing.
Albie. This is Alfie. This is Shaniqua. Dog.
But they renamed
Move along.
him. They
He's
renamed
next
him
for the
in place.
crematorium.
They called him Doogie, right?
Right.
But half of them were calling him Doogie and half of them were calling him Dougie. And
Right.
I was like, that must be very confusing. And then my mum was like, that reminds me of Doug Beatty. And I was like, well, we're not calling him that, right?
Who's Doug
He's
Beatty?
the leader of the UUP.
Oh, for fuck's sake, right?
Which is fine. I quite like the UUP, but I mean, I didn't
Right.
think it suit my dog.
Okay.
So, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like calling him
you
Jeffrey
don't
or calling
necessarily
him
be
Michelle
one
or
of
whatever. I
those
don't,
Yeah.
I don't want to call him one of those names. So
Yeah.
my mum says, what about Dougal, like the magic roundabout?
Dougal.
I was like, I don't know what that is, but she was like, Dougal the Poodle. So I called him Dougal the Poodle, right? Brought him to the vet, and they were like, is there a Dougal Maguire here? And I was like, you're joking, Father Dougal Maguire? And I was like, that's definitely his
No
name.
way,
I
that
thought
was
that
meant
is
to
just
be.
fate. So I've had him a few months.
I don't believe you, Ted. You've done this to me
I
before.
keep calling him Fowler now, right? People are looking at me. I'm like, come on, Fowler. And people are like, from her.
Yeah.
So now, his fur's all
There
grown
is a
back.
similarity there. Look at the hair. The
The
hair.
hair's definitely similar. And the dopey nature. But
No.
he's had a wee operation in his eyes. His hair has all grown back. He's put on weight. He is beautiful. See, when I'm out now, everybody stops him. And everyone's like, he's the most gorgeous dog I've ever seen. I was like, it's because I put in the work. He was a minger when I got him. You should have seen
Yeah,
him.
we should be like that in relationships. Do you know what I mean? Oh, your fella's gorgeous. You go, you should have seen him when I
should
got
have
him. He
seen
was
him
fucking
before.
rough.
He was stinking.
A
But,
good trip to DV in the barber. He's looking all right now.
I know. I had to put jumpers and hoodies on Dougal for ages because he was so rotten looking.
Get away.
But now it's
He's
all
walking
come
about
back.
with a pair of glasses on and all.
But he's perfect now. He's like a model. Everybody stops him. He's absolutely class. He's massive. Like, because
Is he really big? Yeah.
full poodles are really, really big. But yeah, he's like the best dog temperament ever, and he's trained to be an autism dog.
Is he?
He's a great
Dougal
dog.
has lived he's living his best
He
life.
is living his
It
best
goes
life.
to show you that any creature on earth can reach their full potential
Oh.
if a lesbian just takes them over and loves them.
Exactly. That's
My
the
God, it's
message.
amazing. Yeah.
That's the gay agenda.
It is.
It's not else. That's what it is.
David Doherty Jeb truly believes, and he said this on here, he said lesbians should and could rule the world. He said because they're just awesome, like, people,
Thank
and they
you,
don't
David
have
Doherty
men fucking up their lives.
That's true.
Yeah, totally. Like, I love
my
the
only
fact
men
that
are
we
Dougal
Dougal.
now,
You
they
got
can't
Dougal.
talk.
He was all but going to the fucking creme.
He was awful looking.
Do you know what I said, though? I was in the... Do you remember the last time we were in the Doyen? Shameless plug.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be hosting the Doyen on the 12th, if anybody's interested.
12th of
Isn't it the
July?
12th of... No. No. It's closed then. They board up the windows of January. But last time we were in there, the front row, it was almost like a joke. There was a doctor, there was a vet, and there was a lawyer.
Oh my God.
No, I'm telling lies.
high-class
It was a
audience.
vet, a lawyer, and, oh yes, an optician.
Right.
He was a specialist in eyes, ophthalmology or something. So I just ended up, I should have just, like, it was basically just an MC, like, because I had a wee laugh with the audience. But I was like, I bet you don't get any job satisfaction. No, the optometrist. And he was like, looking at me, and I went, because you could fucking cure the blind. And if the PSNI called to somebody's door around here, I bet you they say, I didn't fucking see anything, right? And he was like having a giggle. But then there was a vet, and I was like, do you know what? I always think the vet should get a good sideline and train in taxidermy. Like,
I think I would taxidermy Albie.
because you could have it on your wall, right?
Oh,
It
and have
says,
it on the wall,
no
like
matter what happens, you'll get your dog back.
I agree.
Yeah, like
I do
he
think-
just might not need feeding or like walking.
You don't need to bring him to the toilet.
Yeah.
I really might. I was talking about this last week with my cousin. I might stuff Albie
Would you?
when he's dead.
When- obviously, yeah.
I'll give him a turkey. I might because I don't know. For anyone who has a dog who is extremely obsessed with their dog and really close to them, I don't know how. I could not put him in a hole in the ground. A person, maybe.
Maybe.
Dog, no. Innocent dog out in the cold.
See, I always think about this with loved ones and stuff whenever we're burying. You know, and you think, I actually think I would rather cremate someone and just keep them in the house than put them in the ground.
I just think it's so cold.
Yeah, and like you think...
Different if you're burying them in Spain or somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Ah, bless.
Be nice and warm.
Well, we've gone
Put them
all
on the beach.
Is it W.B. Yeats? I do not think of thee in the cold, wet clay. Flip me. We're like, right, okay. On the beach.
On
With
the beach, they're just sitting, and then might
Like we're
float-
Dobby.
When the tide comes
I want to
in,
bury
the
him.
water might bob them in and out.
Yeah.
I think that'll be far nicer.
No, actually, I've just got images of a wee cold, still dog just getting bashed against the rocks.
Oh, God.
That's not... But like in
Taxidermy is, I think that's honestly the way.
taxidermy, they give them eyes and all, and they'll just be looking at
There's
you.
this company, I guess, on, I don't know if I saw them on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, but I found it quite strange, but I'm a wee bit morbid, so
Oh, I'm very morbid.
they
It's okay.
you give them your dead animal,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know how legit this is. And then they make this kind of art piece with it.
Oh.
So, but it's really weird because it's not, they don't taxidermy it. Like, they take the bones.
Right.
So, for example, if you had a pet lizard,
Okay.
they take the bones out of the pet lizard and like put the skull in the middle and like put all these like dried flowers and all around it. And they do it with cats and stuff. So they'll give you a little package and it'll have like little ribs of your cat and bows and stuff.
Really?
And like people are mad for it. I wouldn't like that because I wouldn't want to think of them being
A skeleton.
a skeleton. But like they have tons and tons of followers.
Wow. It's like, would you do that with a human? Like, would I want my mum's
Pelvis.
Yeah, to go like,
your mantelpiece?
I used to live in here. Yeah. See that third hairline fracture line? That's from me.
That's me coming out.
That's from me coming out. Because
I know, well you wouldn't do that with a human.
in case you didn't know, you can normally, like, what is it? Anthropologists and things like that can tell when a female, like the remains of a female has had a baby because when you give birth, it actually does fracture. You get little hairline fractures in your pelvis.
Because the pelvis has to open.
It has to open.
Like quite significantly.
Archaeologists.
Yeah. Or even just any general, like if you're doing an autopsy or whatever,
It's
you
probably
can usually
like
tell.
forensic anthropologists.
Forensic anthropologists can tell because, and I was like, wow, so by giving birth, you actually do break your pelvis, but it's a wee hairline fracture. It doesn't
I mean, that'll
actually
be
break.
enough.
Yeah,
Hairline fracture be enough.
It's just the stress of it, the stress of the baby being on the
It's just like
pelvis.
people who do marathons and stuff can go into hospital and then they'll be like, you have a broken pelvis, but they won't have known. It's a hairline fracture as well. It's from like the repeated pressure.
Oh
do
yeah,
you know?
of like running and stuff.
Yeah, of putting weight
That's
on it.
insane. Like that's their own fault. They shouldn't try and be healthy people.
know.
Like, we were just procreating. That's not, like, we didn't.
That's natural.
Yeah, that's natural. Like, all that running. They're running and nobody's even chasing them. Like, what's going on? Like, no, catch yourself on.
Don't agree with it. Don't enjoy it.
I do. Do you find that you are quite morbid? I follow a page on Instagram called Morbid Curiosity.
Oh my God, so do I.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you follow it?
too?
I've followed on Twitter.
And it's all on Twitter. It's really good, and it comes up and it's like, this is the body of the woman who fell from the 13th floor. Did you see that one recently?
No.
I haven't seen that one.
Tell us.
So there was this one, and I can't remember her name, but so it was this woman, and she jumped, I think, from a building in like New York or something, but she landed on a car.
Oh, right.
And the car was parked, and it was like years and years and years and years ago. But her body, they called her like the sleeping angel or something like that, because she looked like she had no injuries. Obviously, she must have had massive internal bleeding.
They call it human soup. That's it. I know that's strange, and I know we're being
when
very
you
morbid.
hit the pavement or something?
Whenever you hit, you can look perfect, but whenever they actually
Inside?
go to lift your body, the insides are like liquefied.
Oh my God. Well, that
So-
must have been what she was like, because they said on the outside she looked perfect.
Oh, wow.
And like she just looked like she was asleep. You know,
Oh
asleep
my
on top of the car.
Yeah, on top of a car. Wow, that's insane. It is absolutely
I
crazy.
do like those pages.
But it's kind of natural to be fascinated by morbid
intrigued.
things, intrigued. You know,
Intrigued by-
like I sat one day watching cremations, just out of interest, because I was going, well, what's it all about? There's this.
Yeah.
If you haven't, have you seen The Bucket List?
No? I don't think so.
Is that with Morgan?
Morgan Freeman and
I've heard of it.
Jack
Nicholson.
and it is brilliant. It's a brilliant watch. Basically, Jack Nicholson is a multi-billionaire who owns hospitals, and because of his policy where his hospitals, you don't get a room to your own, to yourself, he ends up in a room with Morgan Freeman. They both have cancer, and then
And it's his hospital?
it's his hospital.
Right.
But they both end up they're like, what would you like to do before you die? Like your bucket list. So then they end up, he's got the money to do it. They're like, let's go do it. But he says something that just, it's a Nicholson thing, you know, the way he can deliver a line that makes you sort of go, oh, felt that, you know. He says about cremation. Morgan goes, just cremate me, put my ashes somewhere really pretty. And Jack Nicholson says, I don't know about cremation. I mean, what if I feel the flames? And I'm like,
That's a good impression.
that is exactly the way I feel. Like, what if I feel like, who knows that we can't feel
Yeah.
that shit? I know that our brain is dead, and you are the scientist here that's like, we can't feel it.
It always has freaked me out from watching Scrooged as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Ever see the bit where he's being he sees his coffin going in to get cremated.
Yes.
And he's watching it from the outside, and then next minute he's in the coffin and the
Yes.
flames are coming up to him.
I think that's actually
Freak.
what I hearkened back to whenever I was. That's a disturbing movie for kids.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of movies for kids are.
Absolutely. Do you know that they say Disney movies, like the main protagonist is like 70% more likely to die in a Disney movie than they are in an adult
surprise
movie?
me.
You know, you think about it, Bambi's Ma,
Oh. Let's not even
all the rest of it.
talk about
Insane.
that.
Oh, here.
Me and my brother's been watching Harry Potter, all the Harry Potter movies in order over Christmas, and
I do that every year.
my God, they are terrifying. They are really. I was like, how are these suitable for kids? Now,
What is it
obviously-
you think scariest?
So, I remember going to see in primary school, Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone, and I was obsessed with Harry Potter with reading the books. They were scary, but see the movies, the movies are so dark. So what were we watching last night? Which one? The Dementors came down and attacked Harry and his cousin.
That would
It
be
was
the
Order of the
fifth one,
Phoenix.
the Order of the Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was terrifying. And
Feel like a night
when we
show.
watched the one with the Triwizard Tournament, that scene where they're in the maze is terrifying. It's so
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
And even the bits with Voldemort and the bits with the snake and all, they're really scary.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want a primary school kid to watch it.
Harry Potter used to scare the shit out of me, but I loved it. I remember reading
I love
the
the book
books.
so much.
I used to see during Easter, my daddy would have had a flag outside the house. So
Egyptian flag,
A
yeah.
Harry Potter
yeah.
flag.
like
Quidditch World Cup.
yeah.
Yes, Gryffindor.
So
Chris.
see, the blinds would have been over, but I would have seen the shadow of the flag, on through the blinds. And like I used to wake up in the middle of the night thinking there was a freaking
Dementor.
outside my window, like, and it
It's
was
just the rat.
because my mum used to, like, when I was a wee kid, used to read me the books, like when I was getting into bed, you know, and then I started reading them on my own. So it was the last thing I remember thinking of, and I'm thinking of Voldemort and all this here. And
Voldemort's
then
terrifying.
When I went to see the Chamber of Secrets, then it was the first one I seen in the pictures. And
Pictures?
I still call it pictures.
Talkies.
and what do you call it? The basilisk.
Oh.
Like, I hid behind the seat.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Whenever we went to see, you know, the one you were talking about with the fifth one, The Order of the Phoenix?
Yeah.
I went to the cinema. I could not wait to see it. And I went with my boyfriend at the time. And whenever the Dementor first appears, I heard somebody in the audience let out this big blood-curdling scream.
They're terrifying.
Like this girl in the audience. And I was like... catch yourself on. And then afterward, whenever I walked out, Aoife was there and she was like, oh my God, I screamed whenever the Dementor, and I went, that was fucking you, thank God you weren't sitting next to me.
Oh my God. No, I agree. I think the Dementors are terrifying.
Do you know, I actually think that the Dementors are J.K. Rowling. Whenever I was reading it, I just thought, that's depression.
Yeah.
Because the way
Sucking
that
the
she
life out of
describes
everything.
them, and you feel you can't remember what it felt like to be happy. You think you're never going to be happy again.
Definitely.
I was like, yeah, getting into the symbology of it here, metaphorically speaking, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking great books.
Oh.
Absolutely. Do you want to hear the word of the week?
Sure.
Right, the word of the week. It's a wee bit controversial this time because it's actually not a word anymore. But I think we should bring it back.
It's not a word anymore. So it's
not
obviously an old word.
It's an old word.
Fudged?
Fudgel. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Probably because I couldn't find my duster.
Fudgel.
Fudgel. It's an old word, and I
Sounds
think
Irish.
it's more relevant.
Irish?
It sounds Irish.
It sounds
but
Irish,
it's
doesn't
not.
it? Well, see, whenever you know what it means, you'll go, it's definitely Irish.
Fudgel.
I think this is more relevant now than ever. Fudgel is an 18th century. It's yet obsolete.
Give us a clue first. Don't tell
Right,
us what it is.
okay.
Should take the fun out of the game.
Yeah, taking the fun out of the game. I'll give you a clue then. Right, so if you're in work, this is the advice I would always give to somebody who wants to fudgel. Right? Make sure that you always have a piece of paper in your hand, no matter where you go.
So it's a verb?
To fudgel.
To
Yeah, it's a
fudgel.
doing word.
See, I assumed it would be some sort of funnel when you're like filtering out the bad parts of fudge.
No, so always have a...
That sounds really
better,
reasonable. Yeah.
So always have a piece of paper in your hand. Is it like trying to look busy?
Yes.
Trying to pretend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fudgel
So
means...
like you're on your Facebook or something and you're just...
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
well, not
the...
Facebook if it's a really old word, but that kind
But
of
that
thing.
is exactly what it would be these days. Like, to fudgel is to pretend to be working when you're not actually doing any work at all. That's what fudgeling is.
Yeah.
Being a comedian,
Run-
basically.
Yeah.
Run the boat with
Professional
like,
fudgeler.
Professional fudgeler.
run the boat with a laptop in your hand as if you're going to a meeting.
Yes.
And a funnel in the order.
Anytime-
Where's all that fudge?
Where is it? I'm going to the toilet
Busy here with the
The fudge's all backed up. Where's the fudgel?
Anybody seen the fudgel?
the fudgeler in? Oh, Jesus.
Sean's number one fudgeler. What I like that one.
Fudgel. I always used to think that whenever you're working in an office...
I get what you mean too. This is particularly for Irish people.
See if you want to go in and have a wee nosy in the kitchen and see if there's like boiling
Yeah.
the kettle for always just see if you have a piece of paper in your hand.
If that's what gave it away to me. You
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
if you always have a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Because then I thought, that's what I used to do when I
Or
was a job.
taking
Yeah.
a shite for like 40 minutes in the toilet.
He's got his paperwork in there.
He's awful problem. But he
Yes,
went down with a piece of
that's
paper.
it.
So.
Yeah, he went in with last year's data reports for the accountants. You can tell I don't work in an office. I know not. I know
Data accounts for the accountant.
account for the fax machine. Is that still a
Went in
thing?
with his pager. Oh, dude, that was a good word. I like that.
He went in with his pager. Do you remember pagers? Like, what the
No,
fuck?
but I saw them on TV shows.
I
Like,
remember like seeing a pager in real life and being like, I have absolutely no
I've
idea
never
what this
seen
is
one
for.
whatever.
Never.
But in all those like old American movies, but from like the early 90s.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, and I was like, well, although they still use them in the hospital.
Doctors still
They
use
do
them,
use
don't
them in
they?
the hospital, yes, and the other allied health professionals.
And the other allied health professionals. Yeah, my sisters working, and one of them had this. It spoke. It was like a thing that she wore around her neck, but people could talk to her through it.
It's like one of those things you put up and you're like,
No, it wasn't a walkie-talkie.
What was it?
It looked. It was on a lanyard, and it looked like a card. But say it was like need access to zone whatever, and you would hear somebody going like, access to zone whatever.
Roger.
Roger. Do you want to play a game? Yeah.
what's your favourite
I
scary
can't
movie?
be trusted. I cannot be trusted with one of those wee walkie-talkies.
No.
Just can't. The first ever culture night ever in the world I volunteered for, and Aoife and I, it was brilliant, like, don't get me wrong, and it was work, like, you were running about and you were trying to get people involved, whereas it sort of became a thing of on its own, and everybody was involved, and it was a drinking fest then. But back at the very first one, it was like, do you want to come and see this piece of theatre, do you want to do this? But then they give me a walkie-talkie.
I can
I
imagine
thought
you.
I was class. I was like going buy myself a belt in Primark just so as I can pin it on there and look like a doorman, you know. And I was like, 1 o'clock over. Whenever like it turned 1:01.
Do you feel all professional?
Yeah, I loved it. You can't hear what anybody's saying on them at all. It's like
Oh,
a
no,
DJ.
it's
You're like, you're going, yep, over, confirmed, affirmative. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, no.
In fact, I think somebody came up to us and they ended up taking my walkie-talkie off me. They were like, yeah, we don't need one for this area because
I need
I
one.
was like, I fucking need it. It's my professional right to have a.
It's my human right.
It's my human right. I love it. That's probably why I ended up doing a podcast. Nobody can take
that
this off me.
microphone off you.
They can't take it away. Well, except for maybe Sean, whenever he gets fed up with me one day.
That's true.
You know. Mm-hmm. Have you ever fudgelled?
Oh, yeah.
No, Sean! Don't! You can take our lives, but you will never take my microphone.
I thought, we're having technical problems.
No, I was like...
Have I ever fudgelled? Yeah, 100%.
Fudgel a life clean out of yourself, do you?
Yeah. Well,
Civil service workers,
can you fudgel as a
fudgellers.
comedian? Because it's kind of fudgelling anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Oh, I'm a professional fudgeller.
When I had actual jobs, yeah, I would have, but it's because I've got like the attention of a woodlouse or something.
Yeah.
I just, just needed a break every 30 seconds. I couldn't do anything,
My friend works in the civil service, and she was like, don't get me wrong, she does work very hard, but you can get your work done, but then you still have to be seen.
And then you're like, what am I going to do for the other 6 hours?
So it's like, move your mouse every now and again so that the computer thinks that you're still on. Do you know what I mean?
Those people who work from home and they just have to stay active on the laptop.
Yeah.
And they're definitely just lying in bed and every hour they're like...
Yeah, just like put it on a wee...
From COVID, I found out I'm much better and more productive in the house than I am, like...
Me too.
In the office.
Really?
I was an awful fudgeler.
Yeah.
See when I...
It's like Fudglers Anonymous.
Despite what was said earlier, I'm actually a bad fudgeler. But,
Fudglers Anonymous would be FA, which means fuck off.
when I worked in the radio station, it could have been called radio fucking fudgeler. Like literally all day, like looking up fucking history videos on YouTube.
That's right, you got really into like Saudi Arabian politics or something, didn't you? You were like
but
au
actually,
fait with like all this mad
a
shit.
lot of those things come out of fudgling. Like,
Yeah.
so you get a lot of those real special interests coming out of fudgling.
Especially if you're ADHD AF.
Exactly.
Like me, where like I find that I am most productive in a job when like I will do the most writing. I had a job in an office, and I actually in that time wrote ballads for every one of my friends. Like honestly, and they were fucking funny. Like I wrote a ballad for Noodles, my friend Nuala, and it was all about us going to Derry, and it was basically partially made up, but it was a full on fucking ballad like tale about her. And then I wrote one for Aoife, and then I moved on. I ran out of friends and like moved on to my cousins, and then I rewrote all the Gospels.
All the what?
The Gospels. Like I rewrote the Gospels.
Like a monk.
In the Bible?
Yeah, but according to like West
Bronagh?
Belfast. So Jesus was like, he was out and like his mates all says to him, here, turn that way, like, in the more way, like, make it lots more. And, do you know what I mean? Like, it was...
You smacked out the Bible.
I smacked out the Bible. Yeah, I did the gospel according to Jesus. Like, do you know what I mean?
A letter from Bronagh to the Corinthians.
Yeah. Do you not write back in Corinthia? This is my third letter. I'm still
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't coming.
I left my pen
at the bottom.
my pager and my home phone at the bottom. You must not have got. We don't use pagers
They
anymore.
took my walkie-talkie.
Sometimes I think we just need a bit of fudgling to find out who we really are.
Yes.
Like that.
So see, instead of taking a
Fudgel
gap,
is to your soul.
yeah, instead of taking a gap year, just take a fudge year. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like,
yeah.
and you can
Fudgel all
still
you
work.
want.
Yeah.
But you can just fuck about and work.
Fudgel about.
Like a job that you have absolutely no intention of doing well in. Like, you don't. Do you ever work? Have you ever worked those jobs where, especially as a teenager, you go into a job and you have adults there, like adulty adults, and they take it dead serious. Jobs worth cunts.
Oh, yeah.
We call them jobs worths. You know, like they get paid minimum wage and they are there for it. Like they would die, they'd take a bullet to protect
job.
that
Yeah.
job.
They'd take a bullet to, like, protect the hot food counter.
Yes,
mates.
yeah, and you're like, somebody stole a sausage roll. Oh my god, get him! You know what I mean?
Screwed.
Like I literally have worked in places where you've seen people stealing and you've just went,
Well, I ain't seen nothing.
fair play. Do you know what I mean? Like, not that I. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a tout. And that sounds terrible. This is whenever I was a kid, by the way. Like I was younger, I was about 16. But you used to work places, and then you would get like the ones that were like 19 and 20, who were like, I'm a supervisor, and they take it dead fucking seriously and all, and
I'm
they're
a
like,
supervisor of the self-checkouts.
of the self checkout, yeah. Look, can I see your ID?
If I was a supervisor of the self-checkouts, I'd be like, take it, I don't care.
Yeah,
Take it.
fuck off. It's grand. I didn't see it. I don't want to have to do the paperwork. I don't want to have to fill out an incident
ahead.
report.
I know.
Just take it. Though I do. Actually, I'm going to go on a wee bit of a thing here. There was a post from like a Newry police station that said we caught a shoplifter. My friend was telling me about this. We caught a shoplifter today, you know, glad to make sure that there's one less shoplifter on the street type thing. And it took a photograph of what this person had stolen, and it transpired it was a woman. But it was
They stole a woman?
No. That happens.
Jeez,
So.
why you put that in your bag? I don't know.
But
Human trafficking. You're not fudgling about there. But it was just like all bottles of Slur and like Coca-Cola and like a few wee Spider-Man like bath toys or something. I was like, let her fucking go.
Aye.
See if that had been me and somebody, I'd have went, oh, sorry, that was mine. I meant to pay for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the stage where used to be if you went on a game show to win money, people would go, oh, I want to go on a holiday or I want to take the kids to Disneyland. And now you see people going on game shows and it's, I want to be able to pay off the arrears in my mortgage, or I have loads of debt on credit cards. Like, we're living in that world where people aren't stealing to be a wee bit
There was
extra
a thing
off.
recently, which is like this, like the same as what you said, but there was a thing recently, I don't know if it was on Reddit or Twitter or what, but this woman was arrested because she was reported for stealing a box of nappies.
Oh.
If there was a man
Who reported her?
stealing another shopper, stealing a box of nappies, would you not be like, fair play, here, take this one as well?
Yeah.
What, like, who's going to steal a... She's not taking them down and selling them for a profit, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh
like,
my
who would
God.
report someone for stealing a box of nappies?
An absolute
Isn't that sick?
bastard.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't
yeah.
that awful?
No way.
Not
No.
stealing a bottle of vodka.
It breaks my heart, like, the people, we're living in a society where people even have to steal nappies.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
I know,
like,
but I remember reading that and thinking... And there were most people were commenting being like, that's so wrong, blah, 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 about, you know, she shouldn't have been arrested. But there were some people who was like, stealing.
theft
I was
is
like,
theft.
jeez, have no heart.
Aye, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Hold on, they would just let that baby sit in a dirty nappy.
I know. It's
like-
a bit stealing a box of nappies is a bit different than stealing like a Lamborghini or something. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
Stealing
Yeah.
isn't stealing.
Or stealing a box of nappies is in comparison to stealing a bottle of perfume. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Like in France, there's a law, isn't there? Their law is different where you cannot actually get a criminal charge if you are stealing food within reason.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
But it's like if you're stealing, if there's anything else in the bag that's along with the
So
food.
if you're starving, you steal all this food, and then you're like, I like the look of that wee Paco Rabanne, then you
Yeah,
can get arrested.
you can get
But if you
arrested.
don't, it's just the food, you can't.
Yeah.
That's a good law.
It
We
is a
should have
good
that
law.
here.
Yeah. There was like a woman caught stealing food, but she had a lipstick in along with it. And she got charged because she put the lipstick in.
Because you want to look pretty.
Yeah, she wanted to look pretty and eat.
eat.
You can't have both.
What a bitch. Jesus. What a criminal.
Yeah, you can have one, not the other. Do you know what I mean?
That is crazy.
Yeah, it is absolutely unreal. But you know what? Fuck that shit. It's okay. You know, just.
Well, if it was one of them like wee sweetie lipsticks.
That's still food. That's still food.
Do you remember? Here, do you know somebody wouldn't believe me when I was telling them? It was one of the kids. How we had sweetie cigarettes. Do you remember the sweetie cigarettes?
The candy sticks?
But not just the candy sticks. Do you remember? See, whenever I went to Donegal, you always used to get. I always got a packet of Mount Duracles, right?
What is that? Actual cigarettes?
They were made to look like actual cigarettes. So that they were in a wee cigarette box. You opened them up. It was chocolate, and they were wrapped in paper, and they had a wee orange tip on them and all.
I do remember.
Do you
this.
remember them?
Yeah.
And the chocolate was so nice. It was like dead chalky. It was like cheap chocolate.
Next to like the sweetie vodka and the sweetie cocaine.
Was like a wee paper thing around it? Was that edible too?
I don't think it was edible, but I used to eat it. I used to eat it as well.
Maybe that's what's wrong.
Yeah. There was like mercury in the paper. Because I remember
God.
chewing it, and it never used to disappear. It just used to taste like the chocolate for about an hour later. And then you would kind of eventually...
I don't think you had those up here, did you? Up here?
Up here, the Black North.
Up here in the north, where all the laws and the rules are.
where the decent people live. Hey, bye.
Oh, God.
Well, I used to, and they had loads of different kinds. Like the Mount Urkels just happened to be the ones I went for because I could see Mount Urkel from my uncle's house.
What do you mean?
I used to go out. I used to stand out and about
Benson and Hedges will have that one.
They had like proper legit looking like cigarettes that you could buy.
That's crazy.
So I used to enjoy it because say my uncle or my mummy went in to get a packet of cigarettes, I would go get me a packet of Mount Urkel.
You're five, you're like
you felt like
me
you
a
were really
packet as
grown
well.
up. Yeah. And I used to love get out to the back door and looking at Mount Urkel and like opening my wee Mount Urkel and standing
Like
rubbing the tobacco.
topping the fig on the box before you like,
It'll not be long before I'm claiming you. Do you know what I mean? I swear to God.
so weird.
I wonder can we get a photograph of them so people won't
put
believe me like that they are a legit thing. The wee Mount Urkels you used to have.
That's crazy.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And they should still do that because why not encourage children to do those type of things? Well, it's the same thing where they give us a doll and tell us, be a wee mommy. You're a wee mommy, look at the doll. And then you come in 15, your ma goes, say if you come in here pregnant, I'll knock your
And
bollocks
they're
out.
like, but sure, it was what you told me to do.
No,
Mommy.
you told me to be a mommy. I'm programmed. Cannot get me out. Speaking of being a mommy, here's the dirty. If you can make that out, that's spider writing. I didn't have my.
All is it? What
Yes.
was this? ALL.
Yes, that's ALL.
All orgasmia.
Yeah, allergasmia.
Aller. Oh.
Yeah.
Uh,
Allergasmia is the dirty word of the week.
so it's obviously. Don't let me say.
You're not allowed to say.
I can't read that shitty right there.
I know. Here, I'll write it out
All
for you.
orgasmia. ALL.
This shitty writing is even shittier.
Oh no, that's better. I can read that. All orgasmia. Well, it's obviously orgasm related.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the all must be like.
It's like
So like an or it must be like you can't.
aller. Yeah, you can't.
You can't.
You can't.
So you can't orgasm.
Unless
what?
you're fantasizing about a more desirable partner.
Standard then.
Standard. I just thought like
Alright, so you can't unless you're thinking about someone more attractive.
yeah. Like
Loads of people must do that because not everyone's attractive.
here's the question though. Say you were with the most attractive person in the world,
Yeah.
right?
So
And you
you're
had-
with me, right?
Yes.
yeah.
And you had this condition. Would you still have to fantasize about somebody else? Because if that's what it is, you know, say you are with
I think
her,
so.
you know,
I mean, I'm not a doctor.
not a
But
doctor.
according to the
Do you know what the funny thing is though? If you're a lesbian or if you're straight or gay, there's different terms for it. Like it's gender specific.
What?
So yeah, the condition. So it says allergasmia refers to those people unable to orgasm without fantasizing about a more desirable partner than the one whom they are having sex.
But is this just looks? It says desirable.
Desirable?
Is that just physically, or is it like someone who'll do more housework? Is it like
Yeah.
what's the desirable category?
Yeah, like, are you having sex with them going, yes, he cleans the toilet?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Or
that.
like you're thinking about the plumber. You're like,
Yeah.
he knows how to,
Yeah, he knows how to fix things.
fix them pipes.
Yeah, fix my pipes. I'm leaking. I'm fucking leaking. I've had 4
wonder-
kids.
I wonder what it is. So what's the gender?
So the condition in heterosexual females or gay men, so when you're thinking
Lump
about
them in
other
together.
men, is called alloandrism.
Alloandrism.
Alloandra. People start floating and shit. Alloandrism. And in heterosex, so that must be if you desire a man.
So if you're thinking about a man,
Yeah, alloandrism. And if in heterosexual men or lesbians, it's known as allogynia. Allogynia? Allogynia?
allogynia.
Allogynia.
Because gynia is vagina, obviously.
Yeah.
Hello, China.
Allogynia. Yeah, it's just like...
Weird. But I have a good question.
Okay, go.
So say if you're a woman with a woman, but you're thinking of a man.
Oh,
Because they're not having the pesky bisexuals in there,
yes.
you know?
But if you're
Which is
thinking...
what I like to call them to annoy my pesky bisexual friends.
That it, pesky bisexual.
pesky bisexual.
Those pesky bisexual.
Pesky bisexuals!
Can't break up their fucking man.
I wouldn't have got away.
I don't know what people think about them.
Yeah.
They're not greedy.
Yeah, they're
Pesky
greedy.
bisexuals.
They're just great. Did you
So-
ever hear people saying that greedy bastard?
So, however, I'm being very inclusive of you bisexual folk.
Yes.
So what if you're bisexual and let's say if you're a man and you're bisexual and you have a boyfriend, but you're thinking of a woman.
Then would that be allogynia?
Allogynia, what? Aye. Is it what you're looking for? Is the name of it?
Yes, it must be.
What you're looking for? So that
So
is
if you're
allogynia.
if you're fantasizing about, so if you were a female and you were with a guy and you were thinking about a woman, it would be allogynia.
So it's the genitalia of the person you're thinking of,
Must be.
right?
Must
Okay.
be. I just think there was also one, and it was actually next to this, amorophilia, which I found really interesting because that was people who like amaurosis, blindness, philia. So people who are aroused by a sex partner who's unable to see them. So that could be
Not just if you're ugly.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that could be me because I'm like
Turn the lights off,
Turn the
Chris.
lights off, yeah, yeah. We'll have the lights
So,
off today.
You're aroused by the fact someone can't see you.
Yes.
I would be insulted.
Yeah.
If someone was like, I can't or I don't want to see you, I'd be like,
Yeah.
that would impact your confidence. I don't think that would be arousing.
Yeah, but that must be that they feel more liberated to like behave whatever way they want to because
Maybe,
they're not
maybe.
comfortable in their bodies.
Maybe.
It does say, it goes into a bit of the psychology of it. So it says it's usually manifested by an inhibition of sight with either one or both sexual partners using a blind. Can you imagine both having a blindfold on? What the fuck are you? To the left. Warmer. You would need someone else in the room going like,
Yeah, you
warmer.
would. You need someone else with like the wee twister game. You'd be like, right, left hand blue. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Left
how
hand
could
blue.
you do that?
Oh, I know I want blue
good.
first.
Aller.
It must be normal.
No, I mean, surely, I'm not talking about me,
Mm-hmm.
the single person, but I'm sure there's people who are with a long-term person or whatever who must see someone they fancy and they must, enter their consciousness.
Yeah, I suppose. It does. My mind doesn't work like that, though.
My mind doesn't work.
My mind doesn't work. My mind just doesn't work. No,
You were eating them Mount Dargles too.
it's all the paper from the Mount Urkels. It's built up, and the mercury from it has went to my brain.
Oh, God.
Yeah, my mind doesn't. But I believe that men's minds are more likely. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to sound misandrist here. But, and that's the second time I've used that word in this episode. So for those who don't know, it's helpful, actually. It's the female counterpart to being... the way misogynistic. A man can be misogynistic, a woman can be misandrist. But I believe that like men, they say that men, the word they process sex, like there's obviously the brain, the male brain is different from the female brain. So the place in the brain, I would love to have somebody on here, but you're my sciencey person. Obviously, you have all the different parts of the brain, the PFC, whatever. And whenever women have sex, we tend to release hormones and the part of our brain that is associated with releasing those hormones for sex is also where we like have our feelings and things like that, which is why we're more likely to become emotionally attached after having sex.
Releasing oxytocin and things.
Yeah, so like we kind of we attach ourselves. Women do become more emotionally attached after having sex, even if they don't want to. Do you know what I mean? Whereas guys, apparently, obviously, they have a different setup. And men are more likely to be able to have sex and not become emotionally attached. Like, and still, like, if a man cheats on his wife, still be completely in love with his wife and have sex and it not mean anything. I would like to attest to, like, the truth of this because...
Yeah, I think... I wonder, again, though, is it different based on things like your sexuality? Are the brains different?
Are they?
Is it different if you're having sex with a woman as opposed to a man? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it just it's different because you're a man or woman, or are there kind of
different
nuances
things that play there?
within that?
Yeah, definitely. There's got to be.
Is it different if you're a gay man or if you're a gay woman or if you're pesky bisexual? Like, are there different...
A pesky bisexual! I don't know.
Pesky bisexual.
Those pesky.
You know, is it different?
Yeah, I wonder. Like, we need to cut up some brains.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely need to cut up some brains
happening.
and find out what's going on.
And I don't think... I wouldn't think... I don't know if it's more personality-based, because I don't think all men would be like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it maybe depends on the person. Or I don't know if some men would pretend that they're like that because that's the laddish way to be.
The cultural sort of...
Yeah,
like,
but I don't know that all of them would, because like a lot of them are sensitive little butterflies.
And then in saying that, I know women that could go out and just...
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
So that study that I read is probably a load of shit.
It's maybe that's the standard, but I'd say there's people that don't fit into that.
Yeah, that don't
either
fit
way, like
those...
little anomalies.
Yeah.
But I bet you a lot of it's cultural as well. Like if you were to if I was to talk to maybe my mum and people of her generation, it would be very much like nobody could go out and do anything and not feel anything. Do you know what I mean? So there's probably like a cultural aspect to it as well.
Yes.
I would think, especially here.
Absolutely. Like I remember my granny, I was actually talking about this the other day when my granny met my granda. Like they went to go out on a date, but apparently he couldn't make it, so he stood her up, right? And you want to see them? They were both absolutely stunning. Like he looked like fucking Elvis, but you know, back in the day, the silver screen looking photographs that they have, and she was a looker too. And so what she did then was she went to the pictures with this guy who asked her out, and she let him put his arm around her.
The hussy.
The scandal. Yeah, and apparently my granda went mental. He was like really upset, and he was like begging her to give him another chance and all the rest of it. And
mental.
Yeah, but she allowed him to put his arm around her shoulder, and that was like, scandalous.
Absolutely.
And I think it's lovely as well.
It is kind of sweet.
We've lost that.
Yeah.
We're kind of like, all that's out the window. Do you know what I mean? It's like, never mind, put your arm around me. Like,
no, it's like if somebody sleeps with someone, it's like, that's the...
Yeah, like you're not even serious. You haven't even slept with them yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like you wouldn't even drink, whereas they hadn't even been out for a date.
Yeah, they hadn't even been out for a date.
Cute. It's kind of sweet.
It's fucking adorable, but it's also very possessive. It's like, she could have had a
cycle.
No,
woman.
We're going to continue on our conversation, but I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's joined us over the past, what is it, nearly a year now, Sean?
Whoa.
We're getting there. We're getting to a year. And to everybody who has stuck with us in the Patreon we also have some new Patreon members. We want to thank you all for joining. I'm going to get a wee day where I sit with the Patreon and we'll go through like all the members, because it won't take us that long to like call them out, give them a wee shout out and stuff. But we really do. We love you and we really appreciate you for watching. But thank you so much and all the best for 2024. If you do want to follow us and have a wee bit more convo, then come over to the Patreon and join me and Emer. See what scandalous shit we're talking about. Tell your granny with us.